What's up, Thunder fans? Welcome to Thunder Forum Live. The OKC Thunder opening their 4-game West Coast road trip with a W in Sacramento by a score of 130-109. A game in which Isaiah Hartenstein again does some great things. Ended up with 4 assists in this game. I think 9 boards. Did he get to 10 at the end of that game?
Yeah, he did. He
got another double-double, which is really going to be what he does every night. J-Dub was great. SGA, double-digit in assist. Overall, great win for the Thunder.
Yeah, Shai had an MVP-type performance tonight, finished with 37 points, was doing it all. At the end of the third quarter, he had 30 points. So Shai, he found a rhythm tonight, found a groove these last few games. You started to see Shai really, I think, start to come into kind of that form that we saw all last season. And the injury bug germ, Cason Wallace gets hurt tonight, sprained right ankle. It's not good. The Thunder can't seem to just get over the injury bug right now. It's another key player that's down for this Thunder team. And really the injury bug's just kind of been a curse even in the state of Oklahoma this year. So it's just like it's not ideal, but it's that next man up mentality.
Mitchell was phenomenal tonight. I thought Mitchell was great. Really, though, the story is going to continue to be Isaiah Hartenstein, a guy who I think consistently night in, night out is going to give you a double-double. I mean, once you get Chet back and you have another guy like Hartenstein who can get a double-double, you had J-Dub who just filled up the stat sheet tonight, the box score, rebounds, assists, points. Lou Dort, very quiet game, only took 2 shots. Thought that was interesting. 38 minutes or so, 39 minutes, 2 shots. Didn't really need him to shoot, though, because the other guys were pouring it in. OKC scoring 130 points. Jackson, can you drop the link in?
Yeah.
We're going to drop the call-in link. Chester says, just here to say thank y'all for the call-ins and the standards y'all set for Surge. Hey, Chester, we appreciate it. I know you and I kind of yelled earlier tonight on the Sooner Surge Night Live, but no hard feelings between you and me because we're just passionate fans giving our take on things. But yeah, we will always try to keep it clean on air and in the chat. Thanks for the compliment, Chester.
Yeah. And Jeremy, I don't know, maybe like as we've gotten a little bit more into the season for the Thunder, but if the injury bug continues to be an issue, do you think Sam Presti being kind of like being forced in a sense, like dealt to make some sort of trade for a guy that's just going to be able to stay healthy and play that has a lot of experience?
Well, you can't make a trade for a guy to hopefully try and stay healthy because that's out of your control. That's the only thing. Now, if they need numbers, if they need a guy because some of these guys are out, yeah, Cason Wallace, I think was the news. There's the call-in link. You can see it there. Click that link if you want to call in. Yeah, AD injuries, man. It's not good. Defensively, the Thunder were. I thought they were okay. I thought they were okay defensively.
Yeah, I think that just right now, I think the rate that the Thunder were playing at defensively at the beginning of the year was a historic level, like not what you've seen at times in the 2010s. And now you see them really start to get onto earth in a sense, but I don't know the exact stats, but I'm sure they're still for sure top 5 in the league in defense. Like they still are.
Oh, I'm sure they are top 5. They haven't gone up that far.
No.
I think we have Corey on the line.
What's up, Corey?
Hey, how are we doing?
Good, Corey. What's up, man?
All these injuries that are happening with OU every single week and the Thunder every single week is kind of getting old.
It's getting old, but it's outside of the control of us, the fans, and the players, really.
Heck, I think if they had me on the field and on the court, like every time they played, I think they would be 100% better.
Today's not April Fool's, Corey.
Yeah.
Okay. Dang.
Yeah. What's up, Corey? Any thoughts on the game tonight?
Isaiah Hartenstein is a dog. SGA is always going to be a dog. and he's the MVP in my eyes.
Well, if they get look, if he plays like he did tonight, he will be the MVP. I mean, to get double his assist totals up this year, which is I think impressive. It's going to continue to be, and you kind of just gonna have to hold your own, not lose to bad teams, so that when you get Chet back, you're where you want to be. I think that's kind of the story of the season now.
Exactly.
And
hey, thanks, Corey.
Yeah.
And I would say that Hartenstein, I don't know if it's too early to say this, but I'm going to go ahead and say I think he's the best free agent Sam Presti's ever signed up to this point.
Best ever. It could be. It could be. They've had some good ones, but
yeah, I mean,
may
the
be.
value that Hartenstein brings.
I mean, Paul George was pretty good.
Yeah, but they traded for him, then re-signed him. I'm talking about just a straight-up signing out of free agents.
Okay. Yeah. I got a shout out to Crystal here, Crystal Calendar, who's always really supportive of our channel. We do appreciate it, Crystal. Thanks for the super here tonight, and thanks for the compliment. Great Sooner show tonight. Show's viewer driven. That makes it great. Sorry about the bad eggs. There's always going to be bad eggs. Sometimes I let it bother me too much. But the fact it will never change. This will always be viewer driven content here at the Sooner Surge on our nightly live shows. AD says some people were questioning J-Dub at the beginning. I think those questions should be put to bed. Absolutely.
Yeah. I think what J-Dub's doing right now is he's making his case that he's a for sure all-star player. He's playing like an elite number 2 option, not just a good number 2 option, an elite number 2 option. You've seen him, I think, help Shai a lot. Like he's been able to do some scoring consistently. And really, you've seen Dub, I think, just go to a whole nother level. Like he's playing great ball, and I think they're going to need him to do this for the rest of the season, and even when it comes to the playoffs. Because yes, Chet's going to be reevaluated, and probably after the All-Star break in March sometime. But there's no guarantees you get Chet back then, because you don't know how his injury is going to progress with how scary it was. So Dub, Hartenstein, Shai, those are your 3 main guys you go with, and you got to have the depth continue to score and play their roles at an elite level like we've seen them do right now.
J-Dub tonight, again, I don't remember exactly how many rebounds and assists. I want to say it was like 7 rebounds, 5 assists, something along those lines. You may be able to find it.
He had 4 boards and 5 assists.
4 boards, 5 assists. I mean, again, that's the number I've been saying. If he's a guy who can get 15 or 20 points and then 5 rebounds, 5 assists a night, you look at what Hartenstein did, able to pass the ball really well. Man, I think he will definitely be a double-double guy, and if he can add 4 or 5 assists a game, that's going to just show the ability to share the basketball, because SGA's assists are through the roof right now compared to years past. He's had several games where he's had 9 or 10 assists.
Yeah, and I think a lot of us that watched the game saw the pass that Hartenstein had when he was falling to the ground to Dub behind the back. I don't know if it was on accident or if it was intentional, but
Great God, you're right. Mitchell has been
he is good.
A pleasant surprise. And I think, as the season progresses, I think Dylan Jones probably will be a G Leaguer, and Mitchell's got to be, you got to continue to play him, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's someone that, Jeremy, he just knows his role on the court no matter what lineup he's in.
Doesn't force shots.
Nope. Plays very under control. The moment doesn't seem to get too big for him. It's still early in the year, hasn't hit the playoffs yet. But if you can just get a player like him to continue to understand the game, and this is also something I don't think that's talked about with Sam Presti these last few years. He just drafted a ton of players with very, very high basketball IQ, and that's what AJ Mitchell has. He has a good feel for the game as such a young player. Yeah.
Look at AD, what AD says here, the last 4 games, 28 tonight, 27, 27, 30, and 28 are the last 4 games. It's definitely all-star level scoring, and no one likes to hear what I'm about to say, Jackson, but sometimes when there's injuries, it gives other guys a chance to kind of take massive roles, and then when those guys come back from injury, you're better for it. That could be the case here. You're going to have guys who've had to play more, guys who have to do different things, and they've become better players. Not to say that J-Dub wasn't a scorer, because he absolutely was. I just think J-Dub has taken the step from last year to this year.
Oh, yeah. And I think something that Dub's doing even at a more higher clip is the way he's knocking down threes. Last year, we knew he could shoot threes, but he didn't do it a ton. He would more get to the high post area, shoot the mid-ranges, try and get downhill. But this year, you're seeing him, if you're going to give me the three, I'm going to take it and I'm going to nail it. That's been
my biggest issue with J-Dub, and you know, Jackson, because we've talked a lot about Thunder basketball. My biggest issue last year with J-Dub is he was out of control sometimes.
Yeah.
When he slashes to the basket, he was out of control. He does not seem to be like that this year. He seems to be better with the ball, more controlled, just a lot more confident in his offensive game. Instead of being a guy who could just slash and use his athleticism, he's become a much more of an all-around type player, and that's definitely what the Thunder need.
Yeah, and I think that just shows what's all part of the development of him, Jeremy. Year one, you see a big guard that's super raw. Year two, you see him start to find his game, see who he really is as an NBA player. In year three, you see an all-star caliber player in J-Dub. And if he continues to score at this level, I don't think he would get a starting spot in the all-star game, but he's going to have a legit shot, because if he continues his clip, by the all-star break, I think he's averaging probably 24 to 25 a night, along with Shai 30 plus. Like, that's, you talk about them two, that's 55 to 60 points between two players. That's really special. Really
Yeah.
special.
Crystal J is on vacation with family right now, West Coast area, so he's 2 hours behind us. It's harder for him to be on here. I got family things going on, so hope he's enjoying his time. J-Dub has taken a huge step. He's been rebounding over bigs, winning jumps, plays big when needs to, and is a legit scoring option. I agree. And Greg got asked, because I brought this up earlier too, any concerns about Dort's offensive struggles as of late? Not for me, because I think it's kind of what he's done every year. He goes through these spurts where he's not being great offensively. It's really not his role. Anything you get from him, I think, is kind of icing on the cake. But I thought it was interesting tonight that only 2 shots were taken. Usually he's struggling. He's shooting the ball. Yeah. Tonight, 2 shots.
Well, and also I think that's just due to the fact that maybe he wasn't really getting the shots that we see him get. I think you see teams now start to respect Dort more as a three-point shooter, especially from the corners, because he's shown he can knock those down at a 40% clip. And Isaiah Joe was back tonight as well, so he would get some of those shots, but I'm not too concerned about it. Dort, with what he brings on the defensive end of the floor, if he's not scoring 10 to 12 points tonight, I'm going to be fine with that because of how elite of a defensive player he is.
Yeah, and Greg agrees with you, Jackson, on that. I mean, that's the thing. His role for this team is not scoring. Mm-hmm. Now, you got to take the thing with Dort, in my opinion, you got to take the open threes. You cannot pass on those. When you start passing on those, you become Andre Roberson.
Yeah.
He's not Andre Roberson. He's a way better offensive player than Roberson. But you got to keep shooting the ball when you're open. But other than that, you don't have to do a whole lot on offense. Set your feet and be the three-point shooter and kind of take the shots that comes within the flow of the offense, because you're going to get them. Because J-Dub and SGA, they're going to be slashing and dishing out.
Yeah, and I see this point here that AD is made, correct, and I think that's absolutely true. But also, I think some of the players are starting to realize, because they've never played with such a good screener like Hartenstein, that it makes it easier for them to attack downhill as well. I think Hartenstein's ability to set massive screens up top, completely take a guy out of the place, can help players like Dub, Shai, trying to think who else. Maybe even if you see a Chet Hartenstein screen and roll, that would be super fun. Aaron Wiggins, Cason Wallace, Ludor.
Wiggins was good tonight.
Yeah, and those guys, they can attack downhill, make more plays around the rim. Because Hartenstein, I'm telling you, especially when it comes to the playoffs, I don't know if you'll feel his impact more than Chet's, but I think you might just see what Hartenstein does, because he's going to be able to go in and bang bodies with bigs.
And a great screener. Great screener.
Yeah, yeah.
Bishop says, who's going to lead the offense when J-Dub and SGA are out?
Well,
I'm assuming you're meaning out by like second quarters. And this is why I like Isaiah Joe coming off the bench. I would rather have Isaiah Joe off the bench than starting. Keep Wiggins in the starting lineup. Of course, when you got Caruso back, he's going to be part of that second unit. Mitchell tonight was really good, but with Case and Wallace out, it's going to be they may have to do some things offensively. You know, in that second. Yeah, Kendricks was really good tonight. What did he end up with? 10 points, I think, tonight. I thought he was really good.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he ended up with 10.
Yeah,
he's ever since he's came back, he's played really good ball. So
the second unit is going to be a unit that's going to have to get every shot in the flow of the offense. They're not going to – Kendrick does not create his own shot. Isaiah Joe really doesn't. Case and Wallace can penetrate a little, but to me, it's going to have to be just in the flow of the offense. Movement, ball movement, get it swinging around, and get some shots. That's what the second unit's got to do until you get guys back.
More than likely, whenever Chet is back healthy, you're going to see 2 of the 4 of Shai, Dub, Chet, or Hartenstein all on the floor at the same time.
Yeah.
I think that's what you'll see.
And I'm still leery of when Holmgren's going to be back and if.
Yeah, and I think it's just you don't force him back at all. You allow this to heal naturally, which that sounds like the obvious thing to say. But if the Thunder, if they really want that if obviously they really want a championship, but if they get desperate, try and maybe rush Chet back as fast as they can to be healthy going into the playoffs. There's no reason to do that. If you have J. Will and Hartenstein, I think you can roll with them as your bigs and be okay to survive for a while because I think they both can bang bodies, are physical. Yes, they don't have the scoring ability Chet does. Can't stretch the floor as good as Chet can, I say that they both can shoot threes, but just the impact that Chet has is a little bit different than what those two guys have.
Yeah, and I don't know if you have the schedule in front of you. This is the first of 4 on the road trip, on the West Coast road trip. Friday night, they're in LA against the Lakers.
Wednesday night, they play the Warriors on ESPN.
Right. So you got, obviously, tonight was Sacramento. Wednesday night, Golden State, at Golden State, ESPN game. Friday night, at LA, and then they close it out. Is it?
The Rockets.
Okay, that's right. Yeah. So I think 3-1, I think, is what you really got to go on this one. You know, you lose to the Warriors, you go beat LA and Houston. You can't finish 1-3 in this thing. 2-2, I think, is not great either. You need to go 3-1.
I don't think the Thunder are going to finish with more than 2 losses on this road trip, Jeremy. I think they're playing really good ball right now, and with them having that long 4-day rest, which during an NBA season, if you can get that kind of rest, that's a blessing because if it's not the All-Star break, most teams don't get that long of a break. So for the Thunder to have that, I think gave them a chance as a team to just kind of rejuvenate, recoup, to go on this run for this next month to really – I think for this next month, you'll start to see teams start to separate themselves between 1 and 5 in the West and then the rest like 6 through 11, 12 fighting for those spots.
Yeah. Yep, Yonner says, I think it's time to give Carlson some minutes, see what we have. I wouldn't mind seeing it for sure off the bench. Put him in the second unit, see what he can do. Because, hey, L.A., I don't think against Golden State you're going to have him. L.A., you could definitely use him.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if that's the one game where we see someone like Brayton Carlson is versus L.A.
Even Houston, you could with Seguin. I mean,
yeah.
But, yeah, I agree with Greg God. 3-1 is really what you need to go here on this West Coast swing. They get the first one out of the way tonight, winning by a score of 130-109. Jackson, it's been good talking a little Thunder basketball here tonight with everyone. Thanks for Corey for calling in. Thanks to the people in the chat with your comments, knowledge of the game. We appreciate it. We'll always show your comments. We'll always allow you to call in. And as this season continues to go, we'll keep having these each and every night that the Thunder play. So we'll be back at this again on Wednesday night after the Golden State game, and we'll catch y'all then. Appreciate it.